show me on your hand switch number or numbers you want to see, do, go over, have questions about. What I'm seeing, I see a lot of 5s. I saw some 4s and some multiple 1s. So we'll do those 3, 1, 4, and 5. I did see some 3 and 2, so sorry about this. So 1, where is it? 1, 4, and 5. There we go. Okay. For number 1, we needed to solve this equation, get all the variables on one side, all the constants on the other. So start by distributing. We have 5x minus x plus 18 equals 6 minus 2x minus 30. Combine all of your like terms on the same side. So we have 4x plus 18 equals negative 24 minus 2x. Based on just this, how many solutions would we have? 1, none, infinitely many. Just 1. Because the coefficients of the x's are different. So we're just going to have 1. So solve this however you see fit. I'm going to add 2x to this side and subtract 18. So we have 6x equals, is that 42? Negative 42? Is that right? Someone double check that math. Was that negative 42? Yeah. Yes, thank you. And then divide to get negative 7. Questions on that one? Okay, and then number 4 was also a solving one. Distribute, so we have negative 8x minus 8 equals negative 8x minus 2. Now looking here, how many solutions would we have just by looking at this? 1, none, infinitely many. None. Because we have the same coefficient, but different constant. So if you recognize that there, you could have said this is a solution. Yeah. If you didn't and kept going, let's say you added 8x and got negative 8 equals negative 2, that would have been no solution. Or if you moved one of the terms to the other side, that would have also given you no solution. So either way, it was still no solution. Questions on that one? Number 5, we are solving an absolute value equation. So we have to isolate, get rid of the 3 by subtracting it to the other side. But once we've isolated it, it equals a negative. We can no longer solve it. This would be an extraneous solution or no solution. So if you did more than this, erase the rest of that. This should just be no solution. It cannot be solved. Questions on this one? So as I explained or mentioned, it is your flex day. Before we get into that, I wanted to talk about a couple things that most of you don't do / do like you're supposed to. I'm just telling every class. So this is mainly about using your flex time wisely and things of that nature. So most of you do what you're supposed to do during a flex day and do retake work on your Delta math, work on whatever it is you're supposed to be working on. But some of you aren't using that time wisely. So then you're spending time after school getting stuff done that you could have possibly gotten done during flex time. Some of you retake a lot of stuff, so that's not always the case. But use this time. You have it. Use it. So if you need to be working on retake work, you should be working on your retake work. If you're missing Delta math, you should be working on that. If you need to work on additional practice, you should be working on that in class or during this flex time. But then in addition to that, some of you are working on retake work throughout the quarter or whatever, but waiting to do your Delta math, which is putting you behind further in your retake process instead of just doing it when you're supposed to do it. So when I tell you there's a Delta math that's due coming out, you should be doing it prior to that date so you're not trying to play catch up in the back. Additional practice is a little harder because it only gets posted after you finish a test, but you don't have anything stopping you from trying the additional practice, especially if your test hasn't been given back to you yet. You could try it for additional practice, just in case you need it for the retake process. Sorry, I was trying to think about all the things. So those are like the main gifs. Use this time wisely. But also, some of you aren't coming to see me after school for, I didn't get this in class. Can we go over some problems? You guys are waiting until you failed the quiz, failed the test, to come work on retake work, to come see me. And at that point, you've already moved on to something else. That should not be the first time you come after school to get help to ask questions. Every single time there's something in class and you didn't get a question answered or you don't understand something, you should be in my office hours that day, that week, sometime close. That way you understand, you do better, so you don't make whatever mistake that you were making on the quiz and the test. That was it. Do you have any questions about any of that? So, like I said, some of you are doing that stuff. Some of you are not. So those of you that are not, I need you to do better moving forward. Right? So today, if you still need to finish a test, I'm going to move you over here. So if you don't need to finish a test, you can move elsewhere. And then I'm going to pass your test back. You can look over and see if you want to retake or not, and then be working on that retake stuff. If you don't retake, I will look and see if you're missing Delta math or assignments / give you additional time. So